haven't shared this with you yet. I've been waiting for the right moment. This feels like the right moment. In the last 2 weeks, so that was only 2 weeks after the session, the bookings that have been coming in went from a trickle to a flood. So without my doing anything different, suddenly all of these appointments are coming in. Because of my fear, it's like there was a blanket being thrown over all the work I was doing. I feel that shift. So I think that's pretty freaking phenomenal. I don't know about you.
Okay, so I'm here today with Debbra Lupien, who is one of the stars of the Akashic community. She has her own practice of sharing the messages from the divine, from the records. She and I were on a mastermind chat recently, and things that came up indicated that she may benefit from a program that I'm working on for veterans. And the work that it's based on is called Empty the Attic of Emotionality for Veterans. And it's available free to the world in, right now it's still in draft format, but it's available free to the world on the website pranichealing.xyz. That's pranichealing.xyz. You go to that website and then go to the Veterans tab, which is the second tab on the top. Click on that, and the first item on the menu that drops down is called The Attic of Emotionality for Veterans. So you click on that, and you can read the book online or download it at your leisure. The book is free, and it's open to the world. So in her awareness of my work and the discussion we were having, it became like a spotlight to those attendant. She could benefit from a back heart chakra clearing. So then I said, do you want to? And she said, yes, please. And so that brings us here today. So let me explain a little bit first about what a back heart chakra clearing is. Anybody who's ever been to an energy practitioner or seen an energy chart has heard about the 7 chakras. The 4th chakra, the heart chakra, is normally seen as being in the center of the chest. Pick the camera up a bit. Center of the chest, right about here. Okay, and that is where your energetic heart is. Your physical heart is to the left. Okay, but this is your energetic chakra of your heart, and they're closely aligned in their functionality. So besides that chakra having a frontal aspect that most people are familiar with, that chakra also has, on the flip side of the body, a rear aspect. And so, or back heart chakra aspect is what it's actually called. So in the front, we consider it like a funnel going out. In the back, we consider it like a funnel coming in to the back heart chakra, which is in the middle of the back, just below the shoulder blades, or around the shoulder blades. Different people, it's up or down a little bit, so no worries. But the reality of what happens with this back heart chakra is that emotionality from others and emotionality from self that is not cleared gets stuck there and jams that back heart chakra up. And the reason that chakra is important is because the energy that comes through that chakra is the energy that feeds the front heart chakra, and it is the energy that feeds the heart itself. So it's a primarily important functionality for our existence, and especially our emotional states. And that's what it has concerned me. And over the years, and now I've been doing pranic healing for the last few years, and then I determined that pranic healing has a gift to offer us all in an awareness of the back heart chakra and the fact that it can be energetically cleared, so that everybody who gets it cleared can benefit in simplifying their energetic process of their life, creating, if you will, good feng shui of the heart, where the energy passes through the back heart chakra and can go and nurture the heart and the front heart chakra. And that can simplify an awful lot of things for an awful lot of people. My focus on doing this for veterans, because many veterans have PTSD or other war dynamic causes that have complicated their lives and allowed their emotionality not to be clear. They were brought up as a civilian, and they go to church, and then they join the military, and they learn to do different things, and then they come back out, and there's no bridge to come back out. They're bridged from church going to the military, but then on the other end, there's no bridge back to civilian life, and it's tough for veterans. So that's why my focus is there. And I offer a free program, Mondays with Mike, every Monday. And you can find out about that on the same website that you went to for the book. But Deborah is a civilian, but she can also benefit from this because we all have the same stuff. And we can clear it, and it can be done. Now, the pranic healers know how to do this, but you don't see it advertised because it's an incidental thing of long, detailed protocols that pranic healers do. The reality is that you can do it by itself and get a wonderful result. And I do that for people, and I get wonderful results. But nobody asked for it because they don't know where the problem comes from. They don't know that it is a problem at all. They don't know that they can take control of it all. There's a wonderful story about a friend of Debra's and mine, who I worked on her back heart chakra, and she shifted her life dramatically in a very short time after a couple sessions with me. So anyhow, I have this campaign of mine where I'm trying to do veterans every Monday, ones that are willing to participate. And so I do that, excuse me, on Zoom for free, and everybody's invited. All veterans are invited, and veteran spouses are invited, and veterans families are invited to participate in this, because the veterans experience impacts everybody in their life. So if you're connected with a veteran in any way and you've been impacted by the veterans' reactions to war, please feel free to be in touch. So today we want to start working on Deborah. So Deborah, what would you like to share? And is it okay if I go ahead and start working on you as you're talking?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So what would you like to share with us today, Deborah?
Well, this is all new to me, Mike, as you know, so I'm not really sure what to share. And as I mentioned in the pre-screening, I deal with a lot of stuff through my spiritual means. So it's not really like it's in the forefront of my mind. But yeah, there is stuff there. I just don't bring it forward. I keep it tucked away, right? In the attic of emotionality, as you would say.
Yes, exactly. Like everybody else does, because you don't want to focus on the negativity. You don't want to live there. You want to put it in the past. But the problem is that some of this stuff will go away and a lot of it won't. And the deep hurts, like when we severed relationships and we haven't cut the cords, the energy cords between us and that person, leaves us to be leaking energy to them from time to time. And that can be very complicating for our lives.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of modalities that do the cutting the cords, and of course I've done some of them. So how is the pranic version different?
Well, most people talk about cutting cords, and they're directing it about cutting cords to the front heart. Okay, but the reality is that the stuff jams up in the back heart, and the flow is from the back heart to the front heart, and it just doesn't get through, and it doesn't clear out.
Yeah. So even the modalities where, you do the motions and you're doing like you're cutting around the back,
Yes.
it's probably not getting cleaned out as much as this technique because this goes deeper. Is that the way it works?
Even when people focus about clearing out the back, they're focused more on the back and not precisely on that back heart chakra.
Okay. So it's the focus and the intention.
Yes. And pranic healing is a different tool. They focus on cleansing the heart, and that means taking everything that's hanging around there that doesn't belong and energetically inviting it to exit, and it's coming out with the cleansing and going away. It's not trying to push it through.
Oh, now I just feel like this release that
Mhm.
just flowed across in the back, across my shoulders. It's like meditation when you take those deep breaths and you release, it felt very freeing like that. And all of a sudden there's more flexibility in that area.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to go over I'm going to turn you around energetically and work on your right side now,
Okay.
just to balance you out and help keep you be balanced.
So it's like you're what you're doing would take away the trigger.
Yes,
Okay.
and the history.
That's important for people to know that,
Yeah.
if there's somebody that triggers you, you can have this procedure done and then have the opportunity of actually being in their presence without having that trigger.
They can all zip themselves up energetically for safety, intending to be in a bubble of white light so that they're safe from this person penetrating their safety zone. Okay, your mother and your ex-spouse.
I have this sensation like I want to throw up.
Okay,
So whatever you've stirred up, it's like it's processing. I can feel it processing.
okay, well, I'll just clean your tummy energetically and allow that to expedite. Make it easier for your tummy to function. Wow.
Did you feel it?
It feels good to me. And the thing is, my shoulders are like doing a dance of some kind. They're just feeling like the shoulds for you are going down the drain. And that's why you do that clutter stuff, because of the shoulds. I should be ready for every emergency. I should keep this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's the ego stuff. And the more that you're in your own authority, and I say myself, something comes out of the divine revelation work by Susan Shumsky. It's a phrase that is just so powerful that I share it a lot. I am the only authority in my life. And saying that allows you all that chitter chatter from the past where, eat your dinner, the kids in China are starving, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Allows that to be passe, because the only authority is you. And when the only authority is you, you decide whether the kids in China are concerned to you or not, or you just want to put out the garbage so your house is sparkling clean. Ooh, that felt good. So anything else you're aware of?
I'm feeling kind of a buzzing in my brain.
Okay. Let me douse a bit. Okay. It's kind of like a resetting of your neural network. Readjust, like some of the things that we just did are foundational things for you. And so your foundation has been reset. So now you have to reconnect to all that stuff, because your base is now more solid. more firm, not so wobbly.
Yeah. So the other big thing that comes up is that, I do have this big message and I feel the responsibility to deliver the messages. But there's a part of me that's afraid of being seen by a larger audience and the responsibilities that come with that.
Yes.
I'm a private person.
Yes.
I like being able to go incognito and do my life, So there's that fear of stepping out on too large of a stage. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, and
And
what
yet,
I'm feeling is, while that is warranted, it's also subject to interpretation, because the inclination is to pull back.
Yeah.
And the knowing is that what you're doing is your divine purpose, is the reason that you're in this life at this time, and not fulfilling your chosen assignment will crimp the joy that you can feel, and the fulfillment of the role that you're here to do. This is an impediment. This is stopping your free flow. And in the free flow is the icing on the cake. The cake is magnificent, but the icing is even more superb.
Yeah, I don't want to hold back. I want to let it all flow, but there's that block there.
There was. There is not.
Okay.
There was a block. When you say there is a block, you create that in the now. When you say there was, you allow that to be in the past. And in that tense shifting is great power of acceleration for you. Ooh, that was effervescent for me to say that, because I know how bright your light is. And I just can't imagine how much brighter it can get. But I know that it can at the same time.
Yeah, it's right now expanding, because I notice when I channel, what comes through has more clarity, more depth. And it's not done yet. Still expanding.
And it brings you more satisfaction and more confidence to go further.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But my right eye is twitching.
I used to have twitching. Used to be twitching in my eyes, but I haven't noticed that in quite a while.
The invitation is to open wide, embrace, and determine the timing. Open yourself up to it, embrace it all, and then determining your timelines for what you're going to do when in your comfort zone. Because then you have more of a selection for everything. Because you can't necessarily implement everything you want to do all at the same time. But when you have the more choices, it's easier to find out what your selections are, and then plan from the optimal tools, the who, what, when, where, how, and why of your process.
I'm processing.
Yeah, I'm processing too. And I'm smiling too, because I just know that you choose very wisely. And when you have the full store open to you, so to speak, what you're going to select will really be impactful for a tremendous amount of people.
Yeah, and therein lies the heavy responsibility.
But it's not a responsibility. It's only a responsibility because you think it is. It is an assignment and that you have taken on and you're willing to comply with, and you only crimp your style when you think of it as a heavy responsibility. When you think of it as your bliss, as your fulfillment of your soul purpose, then it's pure joy in the now and in the becoming future.
Well, the doing of it is pure joy. The thinking about expanding and what more that I should be doing because I took on this responsibility, that's what crops up.
Okay. Could you please, in your thinking, go in and hit the find button? What was the word you, I should, it was the word you used, right? Take out the word I should and put in the word I choose.
Okay.
Because the choosing is the empowerment. The shoulding is shoulding on yourself. Wayne Dyer used to say, don't should on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell people that all the time.
Yeah. So don't you do it either.
Yeah.
Choose. Choose what you want, when you want it, how you want it. And you'll get there on divine time.
Yeah, it's a critical time. There's much to be done, and it's important to clear all this stuff away to make the path free and clear.
Let's play a game as you go along. When you have a sentence that you feel is crimping your style, send it to me and allow me to edit it for you. Okay?
Okay.
And you can choose to use it or not use it, I don't care. But the idea is whenever you have a backup plan, whenever you have a choice, whenever you have an editor, whenever you have, I have the total responsibility, it's shifted to we have the responsibility. Then it's a team effort. Then it's not all on you. And that's really pivotal, especially with a program as big as you're doing already. And I'm not saying that everything you do, you need to shift to me, but you have other people in your network that are strong spiritual people in their own rights and could help you with different aspects of your plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about that, being an independent entrepreneur. That's my gift. So it's like I want to do it all myself. I don't want to ask for help because there's a deep satisfaction in doing it yourself.
Right.
And yet I knew when you made the offer to do this procedure that it would be a wise choice. So there's always that back and forth kind of thing going on.
It's sort of like a doctor who sees a patient and thinks he knows everything, right? But says, I'm really not that strong on this. Let me send this person for a consult for this, consult for that. So you take the particular issue and you ask for the optimum from the best people in that specialty. And chances are they know a little bit more than the GP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that specialty, because that's all they do with that specialty. And with you too, why do I turn to you so much? Because you're higher up there in what I need to know. Now, I don't talk to you about everything I do, just those things that where you can bless me with your wisdom.
Yeah. And we're all blessing each other. That's the important thing.
Yes. So what else?
Nothing else comes to mind.
I think you're marvelous.
Right back at you, buddy.
Let me just ask you something. Would you test yourself, please, on overly responsible now? I
Well,
ask, like my test questions.
Uh-huh.
Now we work on a lot of things, so I want to know how you feel about overly responsible now, because we worked on your shoulders, your shoulders.
Yeah, overly responsible. What's the number for overly responsible? Four and a half, 5.
Okay. And stress.
Stress. Two.
Powerlessness.
Powerlessness. What is powerlessness? 6.
Okay, that's interesting.
I know.
Fear.
I don't get it, but okay. What was that?
Fear.
Fear. Okay, what is fear? 4.
Okay. Resentment.
Resentment. 7.
Wow.
I know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. See, the reason I like this test is because it talks about now.
Mhm.
And yesterday doesn't matter. You know, it's where you are now. And heartache.
Heartache? What's heartache? 2. Why is that funny?
Well, because it was a 1.
No. I don't feel any heartache, but the pendulum says that's the number, so.
I understand. That's fine with me. Threat.
Threat?
Yeah.
Threat. What number is threat? 1 to 10. I just heard 17.
Okay.
I don't have a clue.
And that does make sense because your ego is threatened because of all this stuff is being challenged, you know. And so we need to have a talk about ego. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's the control freak.
And shame.
Shame. 3.
Distressed.
Distressed. Distressed. 22.
I'm loving the beauty, the power and the beauty of this, the truth that's coming through. And guilt.
Guilt. Okay, guilt. A lot of swirling with that one. Greater than 5. Okay. 7.
How about betrayal?
Betrayal. What is betrayal? 6.
The pranic healing session rocked your boat.
So it stirred all this stuff up, and that's
Yeah.
I'm feeling it, in my solar plexus more. Yeah.
That's okay. We'll put it to bed again. anyhow, what I was getting at was I have never done this with like a pranic session followed by an IET session separate like this. But these numbers are dramatic, you know. And probably if waited till tomorrow to do the IET session, we may have a whole new set of numbers too.
Mhm.
So it's just interesting. Okay, so let's see what we get guilt wise.
What the metaphor that comes up for me is it's like when you're clearing away calcium deposits, you know, you've got like hard water and you've got all the minerals built up and you start clearing it away and there's a lot of layers there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we may have cleaned away a layer that makes an more available for further cleaning. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this guilt is pink bubble. Feeling a pull at the top of your head?
Not yet.
Doesn't matter, it's gone.
Okay.
Third eye. Did you feel anything up there?
No.
Okay. In your throat?
I don't feel any change.
Back of the neck? Wow.
Is this process, would you consider it gentler than the pranic?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's so subtle, I'm not feeling it.
It's okay.
Could also be, as you said, by doing it back to back like this, it's a different experience.
Your pointers haven't reset yet.
So can you explain what that means without interrupting what you're doing?
No, I can stop. That's
Okay.
fine. When you do something, when the process is active for 24 hours, up to 24 hours. Like I used to do Bowen therapy. It was just an Australian thing. And I would probably still be doing it if their rules hadn't changed so dramatically. But anyhow, the idea there is to make these subtle little shifts in the body alignment, and everything reprocesses after you shift. So nothing happens in the moment, but a day later, everything's different. Which would have been different if you hadn't done the little alignment tweaks.
Yeah,
You know?
I know about Bowen.
Yeah.
So, but what hits me with that, Mike, is that by not pursuing the Bowen, it opened the doors for you to go into these other modalities, which are, seems to me, more powerful and more satisfying for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, one door opens,
Yes.
closes,
Yes.
your angels throw open 3 more.
Well, I'm very happy with where I am. I'm very frustrated that I can't reach more people, but I also knowing that in this frustration is the calling to try different things, to
Yeah,
reach more people.
but when I have that conversation with Metatron, because I feel the same way, it's like I should be doing more, right? And we know we don't say should, but
Yes, right.
so the answer that comes back is you're not the only one doing this. You do the best that you can right now, and that is good enough.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's
Even
what I
though
keep
in
getting.
your head, you feel like I'm working with the angels. I should be doing something magnitudes larger. And they're like, it's okay. What you're doing is perfect. Just keep doing that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I get all the time. You know, and even when I reached measure Choa Koksui the one time, you know, that the message was the same as Metatron, you know. And so
So we put these pressures on ourselves, which then blocks us. And, you know, that's egoic. So that's what we both have to work on and release.
I did the back of the neck, didn't I? Threat.
You said back of neck.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's why I marked down ego. Yes. Okay. The overlay responsibility is the shoulders. When we have stress on our shoulders, it's because we're being over responsible and our shoulders are tense. You know, the brick wall effect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the right now. The right side is about you being, is about doing. And that's what your concern is, if you're doing enough. And that needs big bubble. Okay. Okay, so that's good. And then the left side is about being. Is Deborah being enough? Do you feel anything coming out of your left shoulder in the backside?
Not coming out, no. I mean, there's like a very light touch of energy. Very subtle.
Okay, well, it came out.
Are you aware that when you're doing that process, your eye is twitching?
No.
You have to watch the video. Your eye twitches like crazy. It's like you're putting in this incredible amount of effort, yanking out all of this stuff.
Oh, and
It's fascinating.
both eyes are twitching?
No, you're right.
Oh, okay. I'll look at that. Okay, so now we're going to do. I'm working on your heart right now. It's clear.
So you're going through that emotional intensity chart that you have one item at a time?
Right.
Okay.
Your left armpit, any discomfort?
My what?
Left armpit,
Left armpit and what?
any discomfort.
Discomfort, no.
That's where resentment is stored.
Okay.
Like along the bra line on the left side.
Right beside the heart.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. How's anger right now?
Anger. What is anger? 3.
Good.
You know what just hit me about the resentment? I've noticed this about myself for many years. And of late, I've been thinking about it, something that needs to be released. And that is, I can hold a grudge like nobody's business. So that's what that resentment's about. Old grudges, people that have done me wrong, which I've released a lot of, but the tendency was still underlying. I think that's what you've been working on. That's what it feels like.
Okay. Why don't you try a sailboat?
A sailboat?
Yeah, picture 2 kids playing with a little sailboat in a stream.
Okay.
And just take their resentment, put it in a little package, put it in the sailboat, and let it go down the stream.
I'm wrapping it up in a beautiful box with a bow. There it goes. We're waving goodbye.
How do you feel?
There's a lightness under my, what is that bone? Breastbone?
Breastbone, yeah.
The one down here.
Yeah, it comes down from up here. Yeah, it's the
Sternum.
breastbone.
I think it's the sternum. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes, that's right. It's also called the breastbone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote a little book about that called Brian's Sailboat. And there's a program out there on YouTube called Your Body Never Lies. And anyhow, Brian was he came to Circle one time and spoke. And I was impressed with his work, and his work is good. And so I went through his program and what have you. And I was working with his team. And I actually rewrote his original book and published it for him. And then I borrowed something from his work with his permission. And I said, it's called Brian's Sailboat. And I got the beautiful picture of this kid's playing this little creek. And it's just any visual to get the thing to go away.
Yeah.
Is really powerful. Okay, so, okay, and anger. Anger, you said a 3, right? Yeah. Now my eyes are closed, but I can feel the throbbing as you described it. It's funny. Okay, that was no biggie. Okay, so then we're talking about stress, and stress is going down dramatically. Okay. Okay.
That one seemed like it took longer than some of the others.
Well, Nothing is exactly, precisely measured.
Hmm.
Why do you feel this powerlessness?
I think it's karmic because I came into this life with a lot of victim energy from past lives where I was murdered and tortured and lots of bad stuff.
Okay.
This
Let's
life
pull
is
that
about,
out.
yeah, this life is about overcoming that victim energy and stepping into power, which is what I've been working on for a few years now.
Okay. Are you going to pull out Debra's karmic energy of powerlessness?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, please do so and give me a yes when complete.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing, nothing. I'm doing it.
Okay.
The pendulum is doing it.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just change procedures depending on what I'm working on, whatever works,
Yeah. Well, that's the intuitive part of the work.
even though this is an IET session, it's still okay. And what's your scale of powerlessness? It's 6, no, 5, no, 4, no, 3, no, 2, no, 1, no, 0, yes. Okay. So that's down to 0. Okay, and then let's use up anyone fear too, because it doubled. Are you going to change Deborah's level of fear from a 4? Yes. Okay, please do so. Give me a yes when complete. Is it a 4? No. 3, no. 2, no. 1, 0. Okay. So that is down to a 0 also.
So I just got this visual as you were doing that. Fear and powerlessness are connected with a rope, and they were jockeying like tug of war back and forth. That's why those numbers were shifting like that.
But they should be both at 0 now.
Balanced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.